All right, so what we have here is the thinking review questions about hyperglycemia and the AGEs and ROS. So here are the question listed here. Here's the disease that's going to be affected and the effect on the risk, and then the rationale for the answer. So we start off with what happens to a decrease in mitochondrial injury. And the disease that we're going to be talking about is the atherosclerosis, since we're talking about mitochondria. And the disease risk is going to be a actually decreased atherosclerotic risk. And the reason for that is the following. When you have a decrease in the mitochondrial injury, it would result in a decrease in the amount of reactive oxygen species being made, step 4 here, which would reduce P38, monocyte adherence, and a decrease in atherosclerosis of the coronary artery. Likewise, a decrease in mitochondrial injury will decrease the amount of NADPH oxidase that would be made. And when you have a decrease in the NADPH oxidase, it would mean that you have more NADPH. More NADPH means less reactive oxygen species. Step 5. Less reactive oxygen species reduces P38, reduces monocyte adherence, and would reduce atherosclerosis. What happens if you have an increase in sorbitol dehydrogenase? This would be the red pathway affecting, in our cases, the various neuropathies, nephropathy, retinopathy, and then arterial sclerosis, hardening of arteries. Increase in sorbitol dehydrogenase would have a decrease in the risk of these diseases. And the reason for that is, in the capillaries of the body, an increase in sorbitol dehydrogenase would increase sorbitol changing into fructose, step number 8. More fructose would be made, or less sorbitol would build up in the capillaries of the blood, and therefore less sorbitol in the capillaries would cause an increase in NADPH in the capillaries themselves. And more NADPH will cause a decrease in reactive oxygen species. A decrease in reactive oxygen species will decrease PI3 kinase and AKT and F-kappa B as well, and this will reduce the microvascular damage, the damage to the capillaries. Therefore, these diseases listed here would be reduced. If you have an increase in NADPH throughout the body, again, as more NADPH you have reduced reactive oxygen species throughout the body, leading to a reduction in all diseases. So you increase NADPH in the body, that's going to reduce reactive oxygen species, because as NADH increases, reactive oxygen species decreases. And therefore, that would affect all the tissues. Likewise, if you increase fruits and vegetables, are going to affect, reduce the disease risk of all the diseases, because the fruits and vegetables have antioxidants, which will reduce reactive oxygens throughout the body, leading to a reduction in diseases, which is an important aspect of when you're working with your clients, emphasizing eating fruits and vegetables to improve antioxidants, which would reduce reactive oxygen species and disease risk. What about increase in aerobic exercise? Like fruits and vegetables, increase in aerobic exercise would affect or reduce the disease risk of all the diseases listed, as exercise produces antioxidants, which reduce reactive oxygen species throughout the body, leading to a reduction in all the diseases. So this is a summary of the think and review questions. Make sure you have a good understanding. Practice them again until you feel like you have a good understanding of them. And again, I'll post this on Blackboard.